Hey, what is up, everyone? Hope y'all are having a great day out there. We are out here on Ptarmigan Hill today, so I hope the service is all right. There is a spot further down the trail that I was trying to get to that has like some benches with a really nice view. But as I was going further and further down the trail, I realized that my cell phone service was going away. So I had to backtrack it down, made it to this spot. Still got a bit of a view, but can't really see the mountains here. So sorry about that, guys. But do have the external mic set up today. So hopefully the audio is not too bad. It is a little bit windy out here, but if it gets gnarly, if anything weird happens, just let me know. I'll try to do the best I can to fix it. But yeah, per usual, got the weekly live stream today, so just go ahead and ask as many questions as you want. I'm gonna try to get to as many questions as I can today. Anything snowboard related, gear, advice, anything like that. About halfway through the stream, normally go for about an hour here, about 30 minutes through. I'm going to stop and talk just a little bit about snowboard running length versus effective edge. So it won't be too long to talk about that. It's not too big of a topic, but it's something I haven't really seen covered in too many places, and it definitely has an impact on the snowboard's performance. So I thought we'd talk about that for a little bit. And if you guys want to let us know where in the world you're joining us from as well, always love to see where you guys are from. What is up, guys? Jake Kelly, it's Evo. In Motion SLB, what's up, guys? Justin Vasey, how's it going, man? Hope you're having a good day. Oh, man. Sorry, I'm a bit out of breath, guys. I've been hiking for a while now. I wish I would have made it to that other spot. But yeah, I hope you guys are still shredding. Hope you guys enjoyed the videos that came out this past week as well. Got some serious wind coming in right now. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I got the rocker versus camber video up, testing the Arbor Westmark rocker versus the Arbor Westmark camber. Super stoked to get that video done. Got the outer space living from Capita up as well, and got some more videos coming this week as well for you guys. And then pretty soon I'll be up in Oregon shredding with Kevin and the In Motion SLB guys, so super pumped for that. Gonna bring a few boards along on that trip as well. And yeah, just keep rolling at the basin. They're open for sure until June 3rd, so definitely still some shredding to come before we get on into full summer mode. Also, after the stream today, I'm going to be going live on Patreon if you guys want to hang out there. I got a link in the description, and yeah, it'll be like a 30-minute hangout. It's like a lot less people, so it's way more casual. Definitely will get your question answered if you hop on there. And this is a super chat, so if you have a really important question that you want to make sure you get answered, you can make a small donation and it'll highlight your comment for me. Also a great way to help support the channel, so we definitely appreciate that, guys. So I'll go ahead and scroll up and see what questions you guys are leaving for me. Sharm Shara, what's up, man? Hope you're having a good day. Osvaldo from Denver. Alex from England, what is up, guys? Emma5929. Awesome, thanks for the kind words, Emma. Steve Horn from SoCal, what's up, man? Do you ride Bear? Where do you ride down there? Rob Gams from Portland. Gabriel from Sweden. Chris from the UK. What's up, guys? Mauro Gorno. Hey, TJ, what jacket do you use? So I use the Volcom Gore-Tex jacket. I'm probably going to get a new jacket next year. I'm going to hang on to the Volcom Gore-Tex. I think it's definitely awesome to have a Gore-Tex piece in your kit. You know, fully waterproof, provides a lot of really good protection in like extreme conditions, really cold, really wet. Going to keep you dry, so I'm going to get something to complement that, but that's what I'm running right now. Oh man, how's that wind, guys? I'm really putting the external mic to the test. I hope it sounds okay. Bert Vandeveld from Belgium. Mirth from Amsterdam. What's up? Carrie Pierce from Australia. How's it going, Carrie? Oh, Domingo from Uruguay. Awesome, man. I think that might be a first. Uruguay. Simone from Germany. Awesome. We got Martin Walgren on the chat with us. What's up, Martin? Hope you had a good week, man. Saying he's been off the grid for a week, but he's back. Sick. Nano. Hey, TJ, watching from Ontario. Any idea where I can get yellow laces for my boots? I don't, man. I randomly had a pair of yellow laces that came with an old pair of boots that I had, the Dylan Thompson 32 TM2. And I go through several pairs of laces a year, so I've been running those for a while. But I don't know really where to buy aftermarket laces in a specific color, but that would be something to look into. I definitely should, because I go through enough laces for it to be worth it. Justin Vasey, can you speak about the difference between a 2-layer Gore-Tex jacket and a 3-layer Gore-Tex? Does it really make much of a difference? I can't speak too much on that. I'm not that much of a soft goods specialist. I have heard a little bit about it just from the time I've spent working at snowboard shops, but I know like a 3-layer garment is going to have like an inner liner, something like a nice comfortable material that's going to feel good on the skin. Then the middle layer is going to be the Gore-Tex waterproof layer that's still breathable. That's the big thing with Gore-Tex, is that it's fully waterproof, probably about like 25K waterproofing, and it's still very breathable. So that's why people love it so much, if you guys didn't know that. But yeah, so the second layer will be Gore-Tex, then you'll have the outer shell outside of that. So a 3-layer is definitely going to be higher quality than the 2-layer. I think the 2-layer, the biggest difference is that the Gore-Tex layer is kind of combined in with one of the other layers, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But hope that helps. Yeah, how, Justin? Best answer I got, man. All right, let me scroll back up here. Awesome. Thanks for all the questions, guys. I appreciate it. All right. Tizzy X, is the Jones Mountain Twin a good choice for a first snowboard? I mostly freeride but want to hit the park more often. Thanks. I don't think that the Jones Mountain Twin is a good choice for you, man. I think it's going to be a little too aggressive for your first board, and especially since you're saying you want to spend some time more often in the park. I think that the Mountain Twin definitely is a good option to like throw freestyle into your free riding. The Jones calls it like a free ride by freestyle board. It is, it is twinish. It's the most twinish board that they make, but the biggest reason I wouldn't recommend it for you, man, is because it's just too stiff. It's a pretty aggressive snowboard, but it's gonna be difficult to control and learn with, especially if you're in the park and not just like trying to hit more natural features. So I'd look at something maybe a little bit less aggressive. If you want the magna traction, you could look at something maybe like the GNU Headspace. Even though that is a true twin, it's not going to be a directional twin. Or you could also look at some Arbor boards, like maybe something like the Arbor Westmark. I think that could be a good choice as well, and you're going to get the grip tech on that instead of the magna traction. So check those out, man. All right, here's a cool question from Sabe Sue 182 from Boston. How wide of a board do you recommend for an 11.5 US boot? A mid-wide or a true wide? Well, I will say, man, most companies that offer a mid-wide don't offer a full wide. It's either going to be like the regular or the mid-wide. But with an 11.5 boot, I would be looking at a wide option, whether it's a mid-wide or a wide. Definitely, if the waist width is going to be the key spec you're going to want to look at as you're looking through the sizing charts and stuff. I would say definitely no narrower than a 26 centimeter waist. If you can find a 265 or 26 and a half, that would probably be best. But yeah, definitely no narrower than 26. Dami 6642. Hey, from Germany. TJ, do you recommend a lobster or battalion board because of the 3BT? Do you recommend a lobster battalion because of the 3BT technology? I feel like I could take that question a couple of different ways, but I don't recommend those boards solely because of 3BT, but those are the only two brands that offer that. That is a proprietary tech for those brands. They have a patent on it. They're the only ones making it, so that's pretty cool. Another reason I really like those brands is because all their boards are full camber combined with the 3BT. So all boards are going to have 3BT. All their boards are going to be full camber. So you get that precision and that power out of the camber that you want. It's nice and poppy, but the 3BT is super, super catch free. So it kind of combines the best of both worlds when it comes to rocker and camber, in my opinion, more so than any of the other brands, really. So Yeah, I just really like their product. I've had a lot of fun on them, and I think you guys would too. So that's why I recommend them. I think I see a super chat that came through here. Let me check this out. And it's from Martin Walgren. What's up, man? Thank you for the super chat. And he's just asking, what deck, trucks, and wheels do you skate on? Oh man, I haven't actually seen my skate deck in a minute. I think I'm actually on a random deck that I won randomly. It's by this company called oh man, it's like a random company. It's not like a mainstream skate company. You wouldn't be able to find it. It's called the Boardroom, I think. Um, so I've got that deck, and I ride a 8 centimeter or a 8 inch wide board. I used to ride narrower boards, but I think that that's kind of the width that I like now, right around 8 inches. For trucks, I think they're like some kind of hyper light truck, and for the wheels, I'm on some Spitfire wheels. I forget which ones exactly, man. I wish I could be more specific. I clearly don't know the skate gear off the top of my head as well as the snowboard gear. But yeah, so I just kind of threw something together, and it's been working pretty well for me. So definitely plan on doing a lot more skating this summer. So excited to get back into that. And maybe once I skate and see the board and ride it, I'll be able to talk about that a little bit better. Thanks for the super chat though, man. Oh man, Ernie Magia from Tucson, Arizona, saying it's 100 degrees today. That is wild, man. It's like, I think the high today in Silverthorne was like 70 around there. So it's getting warm here too. A Basin's still kicking. They have their base elevation is like over 10,000, might be close to 11,000. So they say a little bit cooler up there, but it's definitely warming up. Oh man, now I lost my spot. I'm just scrolling up, guys. Awesome. So, Ernie's also asking if we're able to take our drones out on the mountain some way, somehow. Yeah, there is a way. You need to get in touch with the resort's marketing department and have them give you official access and tell everyone else on the slopes over the radio that you're out there flying. I personally have never tried because I know there's just going to be a bunch of hoops to jump through, but that would be the way to do it. Domingo asking if we're going to come to the Southern Hemisphere this year. Winter is coming. Yeah, so the plan is to head down to Australia, New Zealand, probably right around the beginning of September, end of August, right around there. So super excited for that. I've never been to the Southern Hemisphere at all. So I think that's going to be a really, really fun trip, and always excited to check out a new place, especially somewhere so far away. All right. Daniel Fonseca, I have a question for jibbing. What do you think? Battalion Wally, Battalion Disaster, the Global Warmer, or the Lobster Shoaf? I'm not sure what that last board is, man. And I haven't ridden the Wally, although I think that would be a really, really fun jibby snowboard. It's got those Wally tips, so you can do like pole jams and like jam up walls and stuff without catching your nose on it. So that's pretty cool. Previously, the Disaster has been like my go-to jib focus board for on Battalion, but I think the Global Warmer is also really, really fun for jibbing as well. So I would say this: the Disaster is going to be a little bit softer than the Global Warmer, so a little bit more pressable. Although the GW is still super pressable, but the Disaster doesn't have as much 3BT. It still has it, but it's going to have basically the smallest version of it, and the Global Warmer still has a pretty decent amount of 3BT to it. So those are going to be the biggest differences. I would personally, I think I would go for the Global Warmer if I'm being honest. The Disaster was super fun, but I think I like the GW a little bit better. All three of those are great options though, man. I think I would also be considering factors like which ones are available in the best size for you, and which one can you get the best deal on. Dude, man, that is crazy that that's your YouTube handle. I feel like that would have been one to go a long time ago. All right, dude. GNU Headspace or Space Case as a park quiver. I have a Roam Agent Rocker as my all mountain board. I would go for the Headspace, even though it's a little bit softer than the Space Case, just because it's C3. Um, yeah, really the biggest differences between the Headspace and the Space Case is that, the Headspace is C3 and it's a little bit softer. Both of them are going to have magnet traction. They're both ASIM. Yeah, I think the Headspace is going to be a little bit better though, unless you just really like rocker. But since you have that Roam Agent rocker, I think the Headspace would be a pretty good choice. Chris Ayers, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Been watching all the videos you've been putting out. It's awesome to see you getting out there, dude. I can't wait to be back up in Whistler and hanging out with you guys and getting out there in the mountains with all you. Fit jeans over the brace, so that's a win for sure. Style points. Awesome. Love to see the love for Chris here, guys. Thanks for all the comments. Stoked to see the recovery going well, man. All right, and I saw another super chat come through here. A couple of super chats. Thanks, guys. So Osvaldo saying, I just bought a Meepo electric skateboard. I've seen a few trails along I-70 up in Silverthorne. Is there a lot of trails like that in that area? There definitely is like a river trail here in Silverthorne that goes for a pretty good distance that would be fun to use like an electric skateboard on. There's also one in Frisco. I think you can take that one all the way out to Breckenridge, but there would be some hills and stuff, so I don't know how well that thing does on hills. Also, if you go out to Copper, they have a pretty fun trail as well, and they're all by rivers, I believe. So yeah, there are a few trails. They're mainly kind of down in the town, not really like through the mountains, but yeah, there's some places for sure. I would check it out if I had an electric board. And Chris Taylor with the super chat. Thanks, Chris. Hey TJ, do you loosen your boots for freestyle riding at all? When I see pics of how far and low guys are over their tips and tails, it's insane. So I'm wondering. Oh man, we just had a big gust come through, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, so with my TM3s, I've always worn them laced up all the way, but they're not crazy stiff. Oh man, hold on, guys. Woo! Hopefully this isn't a storm rolling in. If it starts to get like crazy windy, I may have to cut this short, guys. But yeah, anyways, sorry about that. Yeah, so when I rode the TM2s, I did loosen them up sometimes. Basically, if you feel like you want a little more flex out of your boot and you have a standard lace boot, you can only lace it up to the second ring. Most standard lace boots are going to have kind of 3 rings that go up the upper portion of the boot. So if you only go up to the second one and then tie the lace around the back of your boot, since you're going to have a little bit of extra lace, that's a good way to get more flex out of your boot. So I definitely have done that before. There's a few tricks that's really helpful for, like particularly tricks like you said, where you really have to lean over the nose or tail, or really like tweak it pretty hard. So I have done that before, but I haven't done it at all this year. All right. Tyler Vaughn. I have a size 11 boot, thinking of getting a new board. You think I should get a wide or a regular? I would go wide, man. I think, 10 and a half, definitely consider a wide. 11 is my cutoff, I say. Definitely get a wide. You're just gonna have a way better time on it. All right, Jackson Saucier from Boston. Could you do a board review on the Roam butter knife? And how many days of snowboarding should I do before waxing with an extruded base? Yeah, I'm hoping to get on some more Roam boards next season. It definitely won't happen this year, man. I've rode the butter knife a long time ago, and it was pretty fun, but not in like 4 or 5 years. But, oh, Sorry, I lost the question here. Oh yeah, how many days should you ride before waxing with an extruded base? You can get away with it going a little bit longer than on a sintered base. For a sintered base, typically I recommend, every like 3 to 5 times you go snowboarding, go ahead and wax that up. Keep that base nice and moisturized and fast. With an extruded base, maybe like anywhere between 5 to 10 times if you want to be safe. But the big tell is going to be either you'll feel the board just feeling slow out there, then you'll definitely want to wax it, or you'll see like a white haze start to develop down the sides of the edges. So if you see that, you definitely want to wax, or if it just starts to feel slow, I'd wax it up. But you can get away without waxing for longer on an extruded base. Malpractice time with the super chat. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And he's just saying thanks for the advice on the Evil Twin and the headspace. Of course, man. That's what I'm here for. I'm glad I was able to help you out. Thanks for the super chat. Okay, Locree was wondering about the sweatshirt with the snowboard stick drawing. Is that a Board Archive hoodie or some other brand? So that is actually the Volcom JLA hoodie. Got so many good comments from you guys in the videos where I was rocking that hoodie. I love it. I still have it, but it's just super tattered, so I don't really wear it anymore. But yeah, it's the Volcom JLA hoodie if you want to check it out. I don't think they're really making it anymore, so it could be hard to find. But if they are still making it, it's probably changed just a little bit. But you can probably find something similar out there on the internet somewhere. Kai Tapsell with a question that comes up quite a bit. It's tough. It's a tough one to answer, but yeah, we'll go for it. So he's asking, what's the best board for a beginner? So there's a few factors to consider when you're looking at your first board as a beginner. First of all, I would say you don't need to be spending a ton of money on a board. You're gonna ding it up. You're probably gonna the top sheet's gonna get messed up. Maybe you'll hit a rail. Maybe you'll hit some rocks. It's probably gonna get thrashed. And honestly, you don't really need all the high-end technologies that go in those more expensive snowboards. So the opening price point for snowboards is like $350, $400 US. So I wouldn't say you need to go more than that for your first board. Also, if you're deciding between rocker and camber, check out the video that just came out on the channel this week. That might help you decide between that and what the benefits are of each of those. But my personal favorite beginner board is going to be the Arbor Formula. It just comes in at a great price point, $350. It comes in it previously has only been offered in rocker, but it's going to come in a rocker and a camber version next year, so you can really get your choice of whether your style suits more camber, more rocker, how many days you're going to be riding. So check that out, and you're also going to get Grip Tech side cut on the Arbor Formula. So basically just helping to give you a lot of extra grip on ice. And it's not quite as aggressive as Magnet Traction, but it makes a really big difference. So the Arbor Formula would be the board I would point you towards. Justin, debating between the Deep Thinker and the Flagship. Sold the Flight Attendant. Congrats, man. Loved the Flagship when I tried it out, but I've never been on the Deep Thinker. Oh man, that is a tough call. I think that that depends a little bit on what other boards you have in your quiver. Maybe if you're on the Patreon stream today, man, we can talk a little bit more about that. But off just first glance, I would be leaning towards the Deep Thinker. But it's a really hard decision. Those boards are both so sick. Think Daz, do you think a 25 centimeter width snowboard is too thin for size large bindings? It's a little narrow. If you have size large bindings, you're probably in an 11 boot, which I would recommend a wide board anyway, trying to get up to that 26 centimeter width or wider. Because otherwise, if you don't have an 11 boot, you could have gone in a medium binding. But yeah, as long as, your boots aren't super big, I think it could work. You might have a little overhang, but it wouldn't be too big of a deal. Oh, here's something that hasn't came up in a minute, but used to come up all the time. From Cole's Corner, what do you think about the Burton step-ons? Would you consider purchasing them now, or would you wait a couple years for them to sort out potential issues? Personally, I would wait to buy them, just so they have time to kind of dial in any potential issues, like you said, that's came up this first year. They're going to come out with the EST next year, so you get a little bit more adjustability if you throw them. Actually, that's not really going to matter if you throw them on a Burton board, but they are going to come out with the EST system as well on the step-ons. But the main thing is that they're gonna release more boots that are compatible with the step-ons, and maybe, I don't know, I haven't heard anything for sure, but there's a chance maybe other boot brands will jump on it. We'll see. I really have no idea what's going to happen on that front. But yeah, the biggest thing I would say for me is until they get some more boots out and sort out some of those issues, I wouldn't get them this year. They do work though. Like if you're really, really hyped on it and you're like, that sounds like exactly what I want, then go for it. Man, my hat's about to fly off. Sorry guys, it looks like a storm. That storm is gonna roll in. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to, oh my gosh. Yeah, you can see the grass kind of blowing in the background here. Woo! Is that microphone doing its job? Jack Holtum from Scotland. What's up, man? I feel like I should wait for this wind. Oh, man. All right, Snowboard Dad. Any tips for my son on jumping? He lands 90 degrees almost every time. Yeah, so this is something that I've heard Kevin talk about quite a bit. So I'm pretty much just going to tell you for what I picked up on him on this tip, because it's a pretty common thing when you're learning how to jump, and now the wind is gone. Basically, if you got to be fully committed to the jump. Sounds like he's getting a little scared in the air and kind of already wanting to kind of slow down or stop mid-jump. So that's why his shoulders are naturally kind of opening up to that 90-degree position and facing downhill. So I think, the biggest thing that kind of help overcome that is to just really have him focus on getting a straight up pop, keeping those shoulders pointed downhill. You could even do a front hand over the nose, back hand over the tail to help keep the shoulders and body straight, and hold that position until your board hits the snow again, and then you can turn. So if he's able to do that, that should help out with the turning 90 degrees in the air. So hope that sorts it out for you. I know it's easier said than done, but I think he's got it. Def Knox, yeah, sounds very windy. Sorry guys, I think it's a little better now, but that wind is going to come back. I would almost guarantee it. Rob Gams, intermediate rider here. Would you recommend the Burton Flight Attendant or the Battalion Camel Toe for free ride / powder? Oh man, both really fun boards. I would probably put you on the Battalion out of those two choices. The Flight Attendant's going to be a little bit more aggressive, I would say. But yeah, they're both pretty similar. So if the 3BT sounds appealing for you, I would go for the Battalion. But I think the 3BT is also going to help compensate for how the more aggressiveness that you're going to get out of those styles of snowboards. Tim Johnson, why don't manufacturers up the waist width a la Napton to avoid all this wide versus narrow talk? Is it really that much slower edge to edge? Yeah, so it definitely is. I've never ridden Ryan's board, so I would wager that on his, you really have to put in a lot of work to get it from edge to edge. Even just going up to the 27 centimeter waist on the War Pig, it's definitely a lot slower edge to edge, and that's still 4 centimeters less wide at the waist than Napton. So I honestly have a bit of trouble kind of even imagining what that would be like, but I know for sure it would be pretty difficult. And I think that's not even really the main reason that manufacturers aren't building boards that wide. I think the main reason is that they literally can't. The widest board that LibTech makes the Skunk Ape is 28.4 centimeters at the waist, which is crazy wide. And that's like the max width where their snowboard presses max out. So they literally can't make snowboards bigger than that. And most of the other companies, I think, are in a similar boat. So Donek, I think 31 centimeters where Ryan's is where their presses max out. Or maybe that's just where Ryan wanted to stop. I'm not totally sure, but I know at 31, his boot and binding fit completely on the snowboard. So that's how he's able to lay it over. And then there's also other implications, you know, like how is that going to affect the side cut and other things. So I just don't think that there's a large enough market for that style of board. And also the complications for actually making a board that wide that are kind of the issues there. Finkdaz asking my opinion on the Slush Slasher compared to the K287. Yeah, they're quite different. I think that the 87 is a little bit more versatile. The Slush Slasher, I honestly want to spend more time on it. I didn't really get to feel it out that well the day that I was out there. Didn't get the video done on it yet. Sorry guys, but it's coming. But yeah, I think performance-wise, the K287 is just a little bit more versatile, and then the Slush Slasher was just kind of more of like a get out there, you know, regardless of the conditions, kind of just have some fun, and it's just a different feel for most boards, but definitely fun, and there will be a review coming up on that will provide more information for you guys. But that's my initial impression. Oh man, it quieted down so much. This is awesome. All right, guys, I'm gonna scroll up here a little bit here. Tom David. Hey TJ, what is better, the Mind Expander or the Sushi? Ooh, the Sushi is wider, and it has more taper, so it's a little bit of a funkier, fishy shape, I would say. They both float really well in powder. I think the Sushi is a little bit more fun for carving and laying over turns because it has that width. But personally, I like the Mind Expander better for powder. I think they're both sick though. Awesome, guys. So Kai Tapsell asking, where are you off to now? Well, right now, like currently, literally right now, I'm up on Ptarmigan Hill, still here in Colorado, not too far away from my house. The next trip coming up is going to be Timberline out in Oregon at Mount Hood. So that'll be in just a couple of weeks. Really excited to get out there. Kim Cook saying I should try wakeboarding in the summer. I definitely would love to. Wakeboarding, obviously, as you guys know, requires a little bit more logistics. You know, aside from just having a wakeboard, you got to have a boat and access to water and all that stuff. So I definitely would like to get out there. I was able to do a little bit of wake surfing last summer, and that was super fun. But hopefully we'll get more of that in this summer. I'm not sure about actual wakeboarding though. Vasher Lore, any thoughts on No Bad Day boards? Yeah, I've ridden a few of them. They offer a pretty nice range of boards. I personally have the No Bad Day Ambition, which is Max Perot's pro model. It's really, really aggressive, stiff, full camber board. Probably not a really great choice for most people out there because it's just so aggressive, but definitely serves a purpose. There's the rider that could use that much stability. But I can't remember too many of the names of their other boards. It's been a while since I've ridden them, but they have some fun jibby boards as well. The quality seems pretty good, especially considering how new of a company they are. I definitely would check them out. And yeah, if you are gonna get a No Bad Day snowboard, if you go to the No Bad Day Ambition review video, there's a coupon code in the description to get 10% off. So you could check that out too. Have you ever ridden an old Kemper board? I have not. I've seen them around, but I've never actually ridden one. All right, last question here, and then we'll stop for a second, talk about running length versus effective edge. So M7J and U, Burton Custom versus Solomon Assassin. Which one gets your vote? I've never ridden the Assassin, so I think by default it has to go to the Custom. But from my understanding, they are a little bit different. I want to say, flex-wise, they might be pretty similar. But with the Custom, one of my favorite thing about it is that you get a twin flex with a setback stance. So, so if you want to ride it like a twin, you can just shift that stance forward, and it's going to have that true twin style feel. If you're in powder, you can set that stance back or leave it at the reference stance or set it back even further, and then you're going to get a little bit more float in powder. So you obviously can set the stance back on the Assassin, but I don't think it comes standard with a setback. But like I said, I've never ridden it, so don't hold me too strictly to that. But yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out with me this far. I'll just take a second here and talk about some tech with you guys real quick. So two things: we got running length and we have effective edge. So I'm going to tell you what those are and why they matter. It's not going to be like a huge deal, I would say, as far as like it's going to turn you away from a snowboard completely if you have something in mind. But if you're in a shop or you're online and you're looking at snowboards, it's something to keep in the back of your mind. So basically, running length is the size of the snowboard. So the entire length of the board from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail. So like a 155 length snowboard, that's going to be the length from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail. The effective edge is basically the part of the snowboard that actually pushes snow around. So it's going to be on the nose and the tail. It's the widest point on the nose and tail. Those are going to be the contact points. So that's going to indicate the length of the effective edge. So that's going to vary. So you could have like a 155 like War Pig, or I think it comes in a 54, and it's going to have a really long nose outside those contact points and a really short tail. So the effective edge is probably pretty similar to your standard 154, but functionally, in powder you have that long nose on the front and then the short tail in the back. So it's going to be a directional twin style snowboard. Then you could also have, you can have a board like the Arbor Zygote comes to mind, where, it could also be a 154, but it has a really long nose and a really long tail. That's how they give it that kind of old school skate style shape. So because it has a long nose outside the contact points and a long tail outside the contact points, the effective edge is going to be shorter relative to another 154. So basically what that means is that it's going to ride and feel like a little bit of a shorter snowboard. It might not even have as much support as other boards that size. So it's going to be a little bit easier to maneuver and quicker to turn. You're not pushing as much snow, so it's not going to feel quite as aggressive. So those are all things to consider. And then you can have the opposite, from what the Zygote has. So boards like the Capita Horoscope comes to mind, or a board that you've heard that has blunted tips. So basically, blunted tips means that outside those contact points, there's very little nose and tail. So that reduces the swing weight. It makes the board a little bit easier to whip around, and it's going to have a longer effective edge because, a 154 that has a really short nose and tail outside those contact points, that means that between the contact points has to take up more of that overall length. So it's going to ride a little bit longer. It's going to be a little bit more supportive and more powerful, and you're pushing more snow around. So that's really all that I wanted to talk about with regards to that. Like I said, it's not going to be a huge deal, but even if you're just looking at a snowboard and you can identify those contact points, you can be like, oh, hey, that does have a really long nose compared to the tail. That's like a directional twinish style shape. Or if you look at a Zygote and you find those contact points, you'll see that the nose and tail is really long. So that snowboard probably rides pretty short. So just to keep that in the back of your mind, you know, as you're choosing the size, things like that, that's just something to consider. So I'm not saying you need to go out and like compare the effective edge length between like, you know, all the different 154s that you're looking at or anything like that. You definitely don't need to go that extreme with it, but you know, the more you know, the better. So hope you guys remember that. That kind of helps you out as you're looking at snowboards. And yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Thanks for being here, guys. I'll jump back into your questions now. Oh man, so many questions came through, guys. Thank you guys for all the comments. I appreciate it. It's always a good time hanging out with all you guys every week. I appreciate all of you for being here. All right, Matthew Castro. If a board is about to the top of my forehead, but it's also my recommended size based off weight, would I be fine riding it? I think so. You know, I'm going on the assumption that you're still growing. So you know, maybe in a season or two, you'd be a little bit taller, and maybe that board would be kind of be, you know, more like chin length. I would say, you know, if you're fully grown, and I would maybe try to size down because I imagine you would probably, you know, usually your weight falls within a few different sizes. So, yeah, that'd be my 2 cents on that, man. Hmm. Think Daz, do you find surfing is different in the weight and turning with the back foot compared to snowboarding? Honestly, I cannot speak on that. If any of you guys also surf, please answer this question for Fink Daz. I have tried surfing a couple of times, and honestly, I am just terrible at it. Um, and I can't really surf, so I don't know. I've made a few turns on a surfboard before, but I wouldn't say I've actually like ridden a wave and like really felt out how turning is on a surfboard. So sorry, man. Something I want to do this summer though, at least once. I don't know if I'll get it if I just go once, but I want to go. Jackson saying to come to the Northeast. A lot of great mountains. I would like to, man. You know, maybe we'll do an East Coast trip this coming season. I've been up to Okemo before. That's the furthest north I've ever been on the east. But yeah, I definitely want to hit like Carinthia and some of the other resorts up there. Carinthia looks super fun. Loon would be super fun too. Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see how the season goes and where we end up. Lunez de B, can you order 2019 boards already where you were at? Seems Australian/New Zealand shops already sell them. No, we cannot. So in the States, we don't get access to those boards until they should be all available by like September usually, unless a company kind of had some delays in sending them out. But yeah, the season in New Zealand and Australia, since it's completely contained within 1 year, they get the boards first. So yeah, hopefully when we're down there, I'll get on some more 18, 19 boards. Thank you guys for all the thumbs up as well. I appreciate it. Helps kind of get the video out there, let more people know we're going live every week, and definitely helps to grow the channel. Appreciate that, guys. Dominic Stoddard, what's your favorite board profile ever, and what was the board? Well, it depends on the conditions, you know, because on a 24-inch pow day, I'm going to be riding a different board than on a super slushy, sunny park day, you know. But generally speaking, as a daily driver, right now my favorite is the Battalion Evil Twin. It's a true twin camber snowboard with 3BT. So right now, that's my go-to daily driver. Thanks, guys. So many great comments. I appreciate it, guys. I see you guys had a little bit of a conversation here while I was chatting about effective edge. Oh man, yeah, I got an awesome conversation here, guys. Sick. Michael Bowman says, bro, you've got good hair. Show it off more. LOL. Oh, dude, not right now. I've got crazy hat hair and I've got this like dorky flip up happening on the sides, but I don't care. I'm actually in a weird place right now where I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna grow my hair out or if I'm gonna keep it short. I used to have long hair before you guys knew me, but yeah, I might grow it out again. I don't know. I'm deciding. I'm kind of at that awkward stage right now. If you've ever grown out your hair, then you know what I'm talking about. And Martin Walgren, Old Man Shredder, asking what time is the Patreon chat. So I'm just gonna jump right into Patreon after this live stream. So I would say, 10 minutes after this one's over, maybe even quicker than that. I'm just gonna hop on Patreon. Maybe I'll walk up the trail just a bit. There's another spot that I really like where I've filmed some videos in the past, and I'll show you guys around the trail that I'm on and kind of show you some of the views, and then walk over to that other spot and we can do the Patreon over there. So if you want to check that out, patreon.com/board archive, and check out Kevin's as well. His is patreon.com/SnowboardProCamp, and those are also linked in the description, I believe. Lunez asking if I'm going to be reviewing any DC boards. Question that's came up a decent bit. Oh, got a little bit of wind back, guys. Yeah, I definitely would like to review some DC boards. Don't have anything in the works yet, but definitely something that will probably come next season. Etienne Mate from France. Appreciate the precisions regarding effective edge. Thank you, man. I'm glad that helped you out. Lucifer Morningstar, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Good to see all you guys here. Matthew Castro, I see the follow-up here. Yeah, man, if you're fully grown, I would probably size down if you can. If you fall within the weight range on a little bit of a smaller board, I would try to keep it, like maybe eyebrow length or like nose would probably be pretty good. But yeah, the weight range, I don't know how tall you are or anything, but though if that's not a possibility, then yeah, weight range is probably the best spec to look at. I'm loving the conversation on confidence I'm seeing here. Sarah B, I hope you recover from your injury quickly and that confidence comes right back and you're out shredding like never before next season, or maybe even right now, depending on where you are. Makani McDonald says, "Come to Hawaii, I'll take you surfing." Oh man, that would be amazing, man. Learning to surf in Hawaii. I've never even been to Hawaii. That'd be really cool. Is there a place to stay as well? Rob Gams saying a video on twin and directional flex and shape would probably be a good video. Yeah, I think so too, man. So that might be something that I'll throw on the Board Archive YouTube. I actually have like a whole list that I'm working on going through right now that's going to be released on the channel. A little more simple videos, kind of geared towards topics like that, where obviously I'll show a little bit of snowboarding, but it's not going to be like a day on the mountain like how all the SnowboardProCamp stuff is framed up. It'll be more like a quick, 1, 2, 3 minute video just talking about the information that you need, get you the information, and then end the video. So I want to get a whole collection of those to answer all those common questions that you guys have, and they'll also be an accompanying blog post on the website boardarchive.com, which I am working on redoing, and that'll be done in this summer as well. So yeah, next season Board Archive is going to be a whole another resource. It'll be way better. Alan asking if I've tried Now bindings. I have tried Now bindings. They're good bindings, very functional. They work well, comfortable. I really like the 3D molded ankle strap that they use. The Skate Tech, I think I need to ride a few more to really feel out, but I didn't notice the skate tech too much. When you bolt the bindings to the board, those urethane pads that are under the four corners of the binding are fully in contact with the snowboard. So the only effect that the skate tech is going to have on rocking that binding forward and back is only going to be as much as you can compress that urethane, which is the same material skateboard wheels are made out of. So it's minimal. But I totally get the idea, though. It probably does help leverage a little bit, but I just haven't felt him out enough. Josh Archer, what's up from Denver, man? Coming in late, but it's all good, dude. No worries. I'm glad you're here, man. Um, oh, and you rewatch them. Sick, dude. Yeah. I try to do the videos, the live streams in a way where they're still, you know, kind of entertaining to have on in the background if you're watching the repeat. You know, whether you're like cooking dinner, playing foosball, or whatever you're doing. Um, yeah, some background noise. Tips for doing beginner butter tricks. Yeah, I think, you know, obviously if you're trying to get into learning butters, what you'd want to learn just the tail press and the nose press first. So, you know, Kevin just did the video on that tail press, so definitely check that out. Once you're comfortable with those, you know, and you're comfortable doing those while moving, then you could maybe start looking into doing like a 180 into a press, or spinning while you're pressing, you know, 180 nose roll, 360 nose roll, any of that type of stuff. It's all going to start with the nose and the tail press. So I would start there, get comfortable doing that while moving, and then take it to the more difficult butters from there. And Jackson asking when the next live stream is. So there's going to be the Patreon live stream right after this. So I hope to see you there, Jackson. And other than that, we go live every week, twice a week. So Kevin is going to be going live on Friday. That's going to be the next one. Should be 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, although I'm sure he'll schedule it and it'll notify you when he's going to go live. So make sure to check out Kevin's stream on Friday. I have no idea if he's going to be with David still, or what he's going to do. Hopefully we'll see Chris or Jill or someone if David's not around. Or even, you know, just hang out with Kevin. That's fun too. But yeah, that'll be Friday, and then I'll be back next Monday. So every Monday I do these live streams, and then we also do the Patreon streams right after every week as well. Ronaldo with an interesting question. Have you ever had your union screws get loose while riding? No, no. Like, I don't know if you mean the screws that hold the binding on, like the base plate, or the screws that hold the straps on. But I've never had the binding screws come loose. And as you guys know, I put those forces on a lot of different snowboards, and they've done well. They've never loosened up actually this whole season. Even when I've left them on a board for, you know, multiple days or like, you know, weeks, they've held up really well. The ankle straps, or the ankle strap, the ladder, and the strap, those screws do loosen up, and I tighten them. You know, I'm switching my bindings a lot, so every time I switch my bindings, I check those. But I would check them, you know, every like 3 to 5 times you ride, just to make sure they're staying tight. Or if you're like putting your bindings on and you feel like, oh man, this ankle strap is feeling like pretty loose, or like really easy to turn, go ahead and tighten it up, just so you don't have any issues down the road or while you're snowboarding. But for the most part, I think they hold up really well. Kevin Paulson saying we should plan a trip out to New Zealand. The season is starting in a month or two. Yeah, definitely, man. Gonna try to get out there at the end of August, beginning of September. So keep your eyes peeled on the channel, Kevin, and we'll keep you guys posted and let you know where we're gonna be. Definitely, we will definitely let you guys know. So I don't think we're just gonna like suddenly be in Australia and you'll have no idea until it comes up. You'll have plenty of notice. And Kim asking, what's your best tip for hitting a jib for your first time, I think is what the question was there. I would say if you're moving from a box to like a round rail, the biggest tip I could give you is first off, you're going to want to start with a 50-50 or a board slide. I'd recommend 50-50, and you're really going to want to focus on, so if you can imagine as you're approaching the rail, your momentum is going in a certain direction. We could call that your momentum vector. So you want to try to line that up where when you jump on the rail, you're going to make it onto the rail and slide all the way to the end. So you kind of want to already be focusing on the very end of the rail as you jump and hop onto the rail. So I think that's probably, if I was going to give you one tip, I think that would help you out the most. So I hope that it does. Condo VIPs. My force straps come loose, especially the toe strap. Interesting. The toe strap doesn't have any screws. So that's, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, but that's unfortunate you're having issues with your bindings, man. Maybe hit up Union and see what's going on there. They'll probably send out a replacement piece if you need it to get you sorted. Martin asking if Europe is on the trip list for the 18-19 season. I don't want to speak on that yet. We'll have more info soon. I want to say yes, 100%. I definitely want to go back, but I don't know yet, man. I can't speak on that yet. And Kevin's asking whereabouts would we be going in New Zealand? So we'll be riding Perisher for sure and Cardrona for sure. Not too sure whereabouts other than that. So I guess New Zealand, Cardrona is the one place I know for sure that we would go. Ooh, Jack Stanley, alternatives to Gentem stick. I mean, Gentem stick is a special brand. You're not going to find anything that's exactly the same, but as a similar alternative, I would look at United Shapes and Karua Shapes as well. I think both of those brands are really cool and kind of complement that whole style that Gentem stick is all about. Our FOW, TJ, is the 3BT of Battalion good or bad for carving? Personally, I don't think it has really any impact as far as like edge hold goes. There's no additional contact points on those boards, so it's not going to be like magnet traction or grip tech kind of biting into the ice and kind of ripping through it. But it's going to have the same kind of performance as any of the other brands like Capita, Solomon, any other brand that doesn't have grip tech or magnet traction. Another bonus that I think kind of comes up with the 3BT is that it's really quick edge to edge. So it almost feels like you're rolling from edge to edge. So it's a quick edge to edge transfer. So that definitely is a factor for carving, but yeah, I don't think that it has a huge impact. Jack saying he has looked at United Shapes and Karua, but limited options with the size 12 boots. I feel you, man. I think Karua has some wide options. The United Shapes Orbit, which I reviewed, was pretty naturally wide as well. But yeah, you're going to want to go wide with size 12. If you can, especially for carving, if you can find like a 26.5 or wider waist, I would go as wide as you can. Maybe even look at the Warp Pig if that's something you're interested in. They're coming out with new variations of it next year. There's going to be new sizes. I don't think it's going to get any wider, but it does come in a 27 centimeter waist width, which I think would be totally fine for your size 12 boots. So maybe check that board out as well. Have you ridden Moss snow sticks? I have not, man. I would like to, though. What do you think is a better powder board, the S420 or the Nitro POW? I think that's a question that you should come back here on Friday and ask Kevin. I think he'd be super stoked to talk about that, and he would have much more information on that than I would, since he actually owns both of those boards and has had a lot of powder days on both of them. But I think the Nitro POW is sicker, personally. The 420 powder hull might take my pick over the Nitro POW, but Yeah, they're both pretty sick. Oh, Chris B saying he pre-ordered his 2019 pig. That's what's up. War pig. Did you get the twin pig or the regular war pig? Awesome, guys. Any last minute questions? Try to drop them in here. I'm scrolling up just a little bit. William Enstrom, any recommendations for what to do in the off season to progress your snowboarding? I think any activity that helps with endurance and stamina, anything that's going to help with your balance or air awareness. Those are going to be the things that I would do and focus on to try to improve your snowboarding. So trampolines, probably the best way to improve your air awareness, get more comfortable in the air. If you have like a high dive, or if you are into cliff jumping, that's another good way to help with the air awareness. Let's see, for balance, obviously skateboarding is a really good off-season activity. I think slacklining as well, if you guys are into that, is another good thing. Also, just going on hikes, keeping your body in shape, trying to keep that endurance and that stamina up. Personally, I'm going to be doing probably a little bit of all of those things. Definitely will be snowboarding as well, thankfully, skateboarding a bunch, and I'm trying to hike a lot of mountains here in Colorado. So I'm going to be doing a lot of summits, and maybe we'll get some videos out on that here for you as well. But I think that those general categories I started out with, I'm sure there's other things you guys can think of that will kind of help that type of stuff. That's what I'd be looking at. So I saw a couple super chats come through here. Lucifer, thanks for the super chat, my man. Appreciate you. Thanks for all of your help and advice for the video and for the videos. I like your style of riding, and you're a genuinely nice guy. Thanks. Dude, thank you so much, man. What a nice comment. I really appreciate it. Like, getting the feedback from you guys and just, hearing that I'm actually helping you out is super motivating and inspiring to keep going. And thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And then Rob Gams with the super chat as well. Thanks for the insight, man. Super helpful. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it. Glad I was able to help out. And thank you guys so much all for being here. I'll be back again next Monday. If you want to continue hanging out, hop on Patreon. That's patreon.com/boardarchive. Kevin's going to be going live on Friday as well, so make sure you come back and hang out with Kevin on Friday. Hit us up on Instagram. I'm at Board Archive. Kevin's at SnowboardProCamp. We got some links in the description for you to check out as well. And thanks again, guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all you guys, and we'll see you soon. Take care.